I had to do a quick sneeze. Anyway, welcome. New week. I'll be actually streaming 3 times this week compared to my usual two. Um, 2 programming days and 2 gaming days because one will be a mix of both. Uh, if you saw my tweets, it's fine if you didn't. Uh, the I will be streaming on Wednesday, and I will be streaming The Farmer Was Replaced on that day. I quite enjoyed that game. I played it last Monday just to break away from the pattern of Code Wars, since I'm doing that almost all the time. Uh, yeah, I wanted to break that pattern, do something a little bit different. And honestly, really, I quite enjoyed the game. Uh, I kind of stopped around the time for Pumpkins. I actually kind of played it off stream a little bit. I shouldn't have done that, but it was. I really liked the game. And I just didn't feel like streaming, so I just played it on my own. Yeah. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. I worked on the trees for the farmers was replaced. And once you get to the trees, it gets a bit more complicated. It's the trees are like if you have any trees adjacent to like one tree, it goes slower. And for every adjacent tree, it goes even slower than that to a max of 16 times slower. So reduced by 2 each time, or reduced growth speed by 2 each time. So yeah, and yeah, so I just did some code to make sure if I cover a whole area, a whole box, uh, I'll just make sure to have a tree and something else, and then tree and something else, tree and something else, and when it goes to the next row, I make sure it's not next to the previous tree. So I just did some uh, mod calculations and stuff. So like just determine if something's odd or even, and then it just depends on the index. Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. After that, I would be working on pumpkins. Yeah. And pumpkins are a bit more complicated because it requires like to get the maximum value, you you want like uh good pumpkins in a 6 by 6 area. But there's a 20% chance of pumpkin rots in the growing process. So you have to replace it. So I have to like since it's a lot more complicated, I have to do a checking process. The first one I did, it just literally scanned from scratch every time for each node or whatever you want to call it, for each point of the grid. And I'm just like, that takes too long. And I need to do a faster check. So, for example, if a node is already deemed true, I'm not going to harvest it anyway. So the program should remember that it's already checked it, it already checked that it's true. So then after the first check, it'll check only where it was false before. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna have to do some type of process of like it's a different function. It's like move to node blank. Like say you have a coordinate here, and then you're fed those coordinates to go to wherever false is position, and then you go there. So I don't know, like in the back, the process of it could be slower, but as long as the actions in the forefront, because it takes time, takes a few seconds to for the drone to move from one space to the other. Yeah. Actually, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab something real quick. Okay. Actually, probably should have brought it with me. Whatever, it's fine. Okay. Let's get some lo-fi on. What do I want for lo-fi? I want to listen to Expedition 33, but that shit's kind of dark. I'll get back to it around Christmas or after Christmas. Oh, I did Stardew Valley last Monday. It's November. I don't know. Seaside Cafe. This one looks interesting. What else do you got?
Your father knows about it.
Looks like nice vibes. But I got an ad, so I'm gonna make sure to put it back on once that's done. You know, maybe I should just show what I had for the farm was replaced. Just to compare. I will do Code Wars, but I'm just gonna warm up into it by showing the farmer was replaced. Just get an update there. Yeah. Okay, let's open the farmer was replaced. There we go. Loading up, loading up. Okay. Let's see. For everything pumpkin related, let's put that all together. Watering is kind of fertilizer stuff. These two of inventory list and directory are kind of... I don't remember which one uses them. I think directory list could be out of commission. Let me double check. Okay, the tree farm covered everything. Let's do a reset. Anyway, okay, let's see. I was working on movement when I stopped out of game. The thing I worked on since I finished stream last week was watering and tree. And a little bit of movement and some parts of pumpkin. So let's start with the process. Let's start with tree farm. Okay. All right. So let's start the process so we know what's going on. As you can see here, the trees are not directly next to each other. They could be diagonal, but not directly adjacent. As you can see, currently it's showing carrots. And how I set it up, the secondary plant will be whatever I have the least of, with the exception of pumpkins. It's either between carrots, the bush, or hay. And with how I always harvest wood through the tree process, it's usually between hay and carrots, and it just kind of alternates every now and then. So sooner or later, hay will take over once carrots overtake it, which is going to be in the next iteration. Once this cycle ends, it will replace the carrots with hay, as it sees right there. Automatically changes. So, yeah, which is quite nice. Now let's see what I can show. Oh, it's long. There we go, that's everything. Okay, I'll start from the top. Okay. So we got different functions here. Some are quite basic. You would find it on the other simpler classes. Getting the hay or getting the whatever correlating plant number is. Very simple. Finding... This one's unique to trees. This one helps determine what plant I should... what the secondary plant should be. So it chooses between grass, bush, tree, or carrot. These are the options. And to do that, it checks the current stock of hay, wood, and carrots. And then it returns the entity name of whatever's released. It is called by another one. Okay, this is just the harvesting process. So let's go to farm. There's two different farming processes that I have. There is cycle by cycle. There's a cycle version and a basic version. And with the farm, the standard, I could have a limit. Say I want it to run, and I want it to stop at a certain limit. Say, once I have, I don't know, 500,000 wood, and I don't want to get higher than that for some reason. I would put that when I call this function, and it'll stop whenever it reaches that limit. It checks here. These are the checks. It'll break out of the loop when that happens. Yeah, and this one helps determine finding the entity that should be planted second. And this is the for loop that goes through the grid through the process and stuff. So it moves north, east, you know, the general movement process. And then I have the X and Y to determine when to plant the tree and when to plant the secondary plant. So, pretty straightforward there, I think. Farming cycle is pretty much the same thing, except it goes by cycle. So, like, if I wanted to run, just to say, cycle, that in terms of my definition for this code, is one cycle is start here, finishes wherever it ends here. Ends top right. So start at bottom left, ends top right. The moment it resets back down here, that is a completion of one cycle. And then I have that. So that's the tree. I also added a watering class. Let's see. So you see the water level right here. It's currently 0.49. It will, once it goes back, it will be reset to 1. Oh, never mind. Just one of the waters will be added to it. It doesn't have to be 1. But basically, what I do is, let's see, watering. It's part of the harvest process. No, here it is. It's part of the harvesting process. During the harvest, after harvesting an item, a plant, it checks the water level. And it sets it to a certain level. But first, if I wanted to set it to a level, I have to check what the threshold is. On standard, it's 0.5. Before I had it at 1, but that means it used every single time because it reduces all the time with the max of 1. So I decided, only if it's under half, you know, then 5 or half or lower, then water will be added. So I did that. Watering just helps the harvesting process go faster. It's not really necessary, but I wanted some watering processes in. I might do something to disable water. Not sure yet. But for now, this is how it is. I still have a net gain of water, so I'm not really losing anything. So I'm not consuming at a loss. I have not messed with fertilizers yet. Honestly, not too interested in messing with fertilizers. It has some issue that I haven't really figured out yet. I probably won't bother trying to figure it out till after I'm satisfied with pumpkin. Yeah. Let's get to pumpkin. So, pumpkin is currently the most complicated one I have so far. Let's see. Okay. So, for a pumpkin, let's see. It'd be easier if I brought up the pumpkins here. Okay, so this is what we know about the pumpkins. Pumpkins grow like carrots on tilled soil. So, whenever that happens, I have to scan the ground. If it's not tilled, if it's grassland, I have to till it. So, I'll have to make sure that happens, and that's just in the planting process. Always checks to make sure the ground conditions are suitable for planting the correlating plant. Very simple. However, when all the pumpkins are in a square fully grown, they will grow together to form a giant pumpkin. However, pumpkins have a 20% chance of dying once they are fully grown. So you'll need to replant the dead ones if you want them to merge. Let's give an example. I don't know if my pumpkin farm's ready. I don't know. I'll do it. So let's stop that. Let's do a reset all. And we'll do a pumpkin. So as we can see currently, there are some dead pumpkins, and it checks every time. Every time it replaces, it checks again and replaces, and then it scans, and it scans twice because the first time it wasn't completely true in a whole case. I want this to be faster. I want this to be more efficient because currently it takes a bit too long. Sometimes one fails over and over again, and then once this happens, it's going to go one more time. Not one more time, my bad. And go through this whole process. So, yeah. I want this to be faster. This could be better. In order to do that, I've been working on movement and maps. I started with a standard map over here. I decided I wouldn't scrap it because I still think a map is important as a whole for this garden. But for now, I'm going to do a pumpkin-specific map covering a 6x6 area. I might expand beyond that, but for right now, it's 6x6. I do intend to expand the farm further, but as it currently is, it's going to change too many things at the moment. I'd rather get situated with what I have currently before I expand. Yeah. Okay. So the general process of what I'm trying to do is currently, let's see. So checking the 6x6 area, I have it physically move and sense, get the entity type, what's under the drone at that current point in time. And that's just inefficient entirely. My idea was to have like an actual map filled with Boolean values, true and false. And I would set whatever position coordinate is covered with true, and only when all of them are true will it harvest. So it'll save time of just checking every single one. And then when it's not true, I'll have a process where it only goes to the nearest false point on the grid, whatever area it's covering, and check again. And then if it's still a false, it'll leave it as is and move on to the next one. And it'll just repeat that until it's all true. So, like, if it is a dead one, it removes it and replaces another one, blah, blah, blah. Because it's just going up and down, up and down, up and down, like scanning every single one. Inefficient. Yeah, scanning over and over again. There's a waste of time there. Yeah, it's my, I don't know, OCD is just like, this could be better. And I intend to get there. Will not be today, but I'm just giving an update of what's been going on there. I worked on movement. So far, it's just to a specific coordinate. That's all it is currently. Yeah, quite similar to my reset position. The reset position only goes to position 0, 0, x 0, y 0, which is, in this case, will be the bottom left-hand corner. Ah, right. So it shows x 0 and y 0 right there. Yeah. And that's all this does. Made that pretty early on. And I will expand movement to have different movement types. I've yet to determine what it will be. Yeah, honestly, I haven't determined what it would be yet. Like, what I currently have seems fine. Yeah, what I currently have seems fine. It doesn't need to change, per se, just yet. But I think I'll have to if I need if I have a more complicated layout. Because the expansion that I have, it will become an 8x8. It will still only fit one pumpkin in that slot. And ideally I would switch from a 6x6 to a 12x12. Yeah, ideally I'd like to get to there so I can have 4 pumpkins. But I don't know. That might take more pumpkins than I have. I honestly might have enough currently, but I don't know. But honestly, I kind of want to like just go to the 8x8 and then deal with the challenges there before speeding up too quickly, because I want to deal with the challenges of an 8x8 system, because it's quite complicated to, say, plant a pumpkin with an 8x8 space and have a secondary plant with whatever area is left over. I think that's an interesting challenge. I think that is definitely a problem I will face as I expand the farm throughout the process. So might as well tackle it immediately, you know? Similar to what I did with the trees, with the secondary plant being whatever's left over, you know? Whatever has the least. So I think adding a secondary process would be good. Yeah. A secondary plant for whatever leftovers. And then I want to choose between all the plants that I currently have, including ones I have yet to really use. There's some plants I haven't used yet. Sunflowers I haven't used. I definitely want to try out sunflower. Cactuses would be interesting. I don't know what the whole cactus thing is about. From my understanding of sunflowers, it just makes the drone move faster, which is something I would be interested in. If I could do some type of percentage, I don't know, coverage of whatever's leftovers. For example, I do 8x8. and whatever's left, maybe 10 or 20%, I'll fill with sunflowers, and the rest be like trees or something. And that can be pretty solid. I don't know. Another thing that I don't really know what to do with, it's like a challenge I'll deal with later. Where is it? Maybe I already unlocked it. Let's see if I can find it. Polyculture? Yeah, polyculture. Okay. Polyculture is a mechanic that I haven't really messed with either. I quite literally just got it last week, and there's just too many things, too many challenges currently that I don't want to deal with polyculture just yet. It's very target specific, and my process isn't precise enough for polyculture. So yeah, I'm not going to do that one just yet. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. That's generally the process that I have right now. Yeah. Next time I'll be continuing the pumpkin process, making the mega pumpkin more efficient. After that, maybe I should have made a to-do list. Yeah, let's make a to-do. I don't really like the notepad here. Anyway. Yeah, multi-line. Nope. Seems like I know how to stick with this. Farm efficiency update. I'll call it confirmation map. After that, I'll probably do something to address the 8x8 problem. Other let's call it other plants for leftover space of mega pumpkins, I guess. And I'll just leave that for now. There's clearly more, but those are the top two stuff, and that's good. Okay, let's do a stop. Let's do a reset all. There we go. All right, let's save and quit. Oh no. I just looked over at my... Oh shit. This whole time. How long I've been streaming? I don't know. For the past 15 minutes, I had no gameplay. Oh no. Shit. shit. I was treating it as if I had a screen to show you guys. So sorry. Well, there'll definitely be a screen now as I'm going to bring up the browser. There we go. There's also no music despite me playing it because it was on mute. Ah, string of failures on my part. Shoot. I don't know. I'm pretty mentally wiped, but we will continue anyway. Language is Python. Oh, that's fine. Let's see. Let's go to Q4. I don't feel like doing 3 today. 3 is currently my limit, at least for a single streaming session. Like, sometimes I finish it, sometimes I don't. Q4, I consistently finish it. Haven't really touched 1 and 2. Let's do this one. Sum of string as numbers. Given the representation of 2 integers, return the string representation of the sum of those integers. For example, sum string 1, 2 equals 3. Okay, that's fair. A string representation of integer will contain no character besides the 10 numericals of 0 to 9, so I don't have to do specific checks for that. I have to remove the use of big integer and big decimal. Okay, that's Java, whatever. Python, your solution need to work with huge numbers, about 1,000,000 digits. Converting to int will not work. Oh, I thought it was going to be easier. I'll probably just do convert to int because that's the only thing I can think of at the moment, even though it directly tells me not to do that. I want to run into the problems that it's warning me of. Is there a limit to converting to int? Let me check that out first. I'm not familiar with any limitations. I'm just gonna run into it just to figure out what the hell's going on. One int 2. Maybe I'll just X Y. Int X Y. Int underscore X plus int underscore Y. With my understanding, the test should pass flying colors. Okay. Now, if I do this one, it should fail. Okay. What is this? Just copy all of that. Traceback, most recent call, workspace, BMD. Invalid literal. So if there's an empty string, that's going to cover that one. At least it should. Yeah. Test is still good. Oh, wait, what? Foolish. Start the rightmost. Carry over. So far, 0, but it can be replaced with nothing, with something else. Push the outputs. What is it again? Let me look it up. I'm gonna ask me stuff. Zone out. Eat. Rice. Solution. Fix 10. Plus solution mod 10. And carries can be reassigned to whatever's left over. Plus 10. equals j virus equals join the first order. Output of list. So that's an English. Script to remove the left script, all the zeros on the left side of the string, turn this. Oops. And so. Almost there. I got it. See what the other people got. Left. Resolution carry. What the hell was div mod? Div mod. Display the quotient. Two. Interesting. I was not aware of that function. Cool. Div mod. That actually saves a lot of time. I'm gonna make note of div mod. Generally, I like to try to avoid division, so I don't know how well it will retain until I use it a bit more myself, but I like it. Some guy just imported. Function. String. Certain activities are worth more than others. For example, publishing a content is worth more than solving it. So this guy must have published a bunch of stuff. A lot of JavaScript, a few Python. Top percent, that's cool. Let's just do something easy to finish things off. Digital root is the recursive sum of all digits in a number. Interesting. And given n, take the sum of digits. And has more than one digit. Continue reducing in this way until this one digit is reduced. So I'm thinking convert m to square. And then make a list. Digits isolate each. Isolate each. And then equals dot strip. Dot split. For each one. The sum equals 0, 4. I'll set this in underscore m, and we have to put sum plus int, and then return sum. Let me double check splits. If I do that first. let me double check. What's this? Oh, oops. I'm so confused. Okay. This is fine. All right. Trying to make this more efficient. Sun. Gotcha. Let's see. Kind of. Okay. You know, maybe it's time for me to work on a new little project. My friend recommended me to see if I can get some type of software to... So whenever I play music, there's going to be display for it. And there's a lot of dead space in my OBS, so maybe I could do that. Just doing little small projects. I like to do big ones, I just don't have the time right now. So, yeah, I might put that more in the forefront. But I think that will be all for today. Kind of a short stream, only going for an hour and 30 minutes. Pretty tired, I'll be honest. But yeah. I think that'll be it. Tomorrow I will continue with Doki Doki Literature Club. I will actually check my 11 labs before I go. To make sure everything is good. Yep, we're good on 11 labs. So, Doki Doki Literature Club tomorrow. We'll be finishing up there. We have finally taken care of the villain, Monica. And with her taken care of, we can continue the game as it mostly should be. Without her interference. Or, you know, breaking fourth wall interference and stuff. Yeah, that'll be fun. And then after that, I'm a bit unsure of what game to play after. I might do a poll on Twitter. I don't really have a lot of followers, so I'll probably try a tweet like that just to mix up my tweets. And if there's actually votes there, then I'll probably follow it. But if there's no interaction, I'll figure it out on my end. Initially, I wanted to do a Pokemon thing, but I need to upgrade update my code. Because relying on 11 labs is not gonna cut it for me anymore. Like, I love 11 labs. It has a lot of voices, which is super fantastic. But the $5 cost, and especially the limit, token limit for every month, is an issue. That gives me a hard limit. As long as I can find a TTS that has a variety of voices, the quality doesn't have to sound human or whatever. But as long as I can use it for a long time, ideally like virtually infinitely, and have a variety of voices, that would be good enough. That's my criteria. And I've been kind of slowly looking for stuff over time, but nothing is really stuck. Like, I want to use AWS. I know there's been an issue recently with AWS. I'm not going to do AWS because you have to pay for that. But yeah, I don't know. I've been looking at things that without a proper solution just yet. I don't know how the big streamers do it. Like, they probably just pay for some TTS voices just because it's easier. The popular ones might probably have that leeway for their budget. for their streams and stuff, but I don't have that. But honestly, the challenge is quite nice, quite interesting. It's that right type of challenge that doesn't like squeeze you dry, but it is healthy. So I think it's quite nice, especially at my level currently. So yeah, I'll keep an eye out. There will be no raid today. Just to check, I'll just check out who's currently streaming. Not that I'm gonna raid anyone. Oh, someone's playing Halo 2. That's cool. It's Tyrone. Interesting. Yeah. Alright. That will be all. Yeah. But for those who watched, thanks for coming by. It was a very short and chill stream for today. Yeah. Alright. See you guys next time.